notes, okay? Because this booklet is your notes and everything, okay? So I ask you to start practice your skills until the next section starts. So here we go. 5% of 72, you basically just divide this by 100, right, to get that. I hope you know that, right? Percent, always divide by 100 times 72. And that gives you 3.6. No dollar signs, nothing. That's it. 275% divided by 100. That'd be 2.75. Of is always multiply in math. And that's 22. (152% of 200). That's 1.52 times 200. That's 304. And a trick question in there, 6.75. So 6 3/4% would be 6.75%, which translates to, if you divide that by 100, it translates to that. So that's what you multiply 700 by. And you get 47.25. Okay. No dollar signs, nothing, because there are no dollar signs. It's just a number. Okay. Moving on. Page 47. Okay. An electrician buys his materials from a local hardware store, then charges his customer 20% more. This is what we call a markup. That's a markup as a percentage, right? The material for the given project is $253.75 at the hardware store. What is the markup? And they want the markup in dollars, right? How much did they price it up? So this is what we call almost like the wholesale, except for this is like you're buying the stuff, you're doing a job, and then you're adding some to what it cost you to do the job in the first place, right? That's what a contractor does. So what we would do is just find 20% of 253.75, which is really just 0.2 times 253.75. And now we have dollars in play, right? So it's 50.75 is the markup. That's how much additional, that's basically also your profit, right? Because you tack it on, you charge it to your customer, and then 50.75 is in your pocket, right? How much does he charge the customer for the material before tax? This is just a bit of a trick question. There's not much. How much did he charge the customer? You would say 253.75 plus the markup, right? And that would be 304.50. And when you do this, you get 304.5. So don't forget that 0, okay? Don't forget that 0 there. Because the calculator will only go 304.5 there. State the wholesale price in this case. The wholesale price would be, in a sense, 253.75, except for, right, we don't call it that when you're going and buying a bunch of stuff for a job. But this would be what we consider the wholesale price. Like that's what you got it for as an owner, and you add stuff to it, that would be the retail. Okay, once you added stuff to it. Oh, Francis, you're there? No, I did mark you here. Okay. Maria is a florist in a small boutique. If Maria paid $8.50 per dozen for roses and sold them for this much, what is the percent markup? This is very important. I didn't teach you this yet, by the way, but I'm going to teach it to you today. What's the percent markup? Okay. So I will give you a formula here to find the markup as a percent. Okay. You find up the markup in dollars and you divide it by the wholesale. It's also a dollar amount, and you multiply that by 100. It should probably be on your, it should be on your study sheet, not probably, like you should have that on there. Or another way of thinking of it is markup as a percent. You take retail minus wholesale, divide that by wholesale, and then you multiply it by 100. Sorry, it doesn't quite fit on there. Because think about it, to get the markup, you would just take the retail minus the wholesale that you got it for, right? And that difference is the markup. So they are the same. It's just different ways of presenting it. Okay, so we'll do the calculations now. Don't forget the times 100 here, okay? Because that's how you find a percentage. You multiply it by 100. If you want to go from percentage to decimal, you divide it by 100. Okay, so they want the percent markup. We would first say this price right here is what we would call retail. This number right here is what we would call wholesale. Like that's how much you got it from your supplier, and then you sell it for this much to the customer, right? So to get the markup, we would go 19.95, right? The retail minus the wholesale. And if you subtract this, I encourage you to always follow along with a calculator, right? If you can. There was a markup of 11.45, right? You basically marked it up by 11.45 to sell it to your customer by this much. So now we're going to do markup. So this was markup as a dollar amount. Now we're going to do markup as a percentage. So we're going to follow our formula. The markup, which goes up here, 11.45, over the wholesale. What's the wholesale in this case? It's the 850. You multiply that by 100. So this is how you go. This divided by that, answer times 100. And you get 134.75 0.71. If you leave it like that, you will get docked half a mark. It has to have a percentage on there. This answers the question, really, in this case. So this is new. I mean, some of you probably figured it out. And sometimes that happens. If I assign it, just leave it if you don't know. You just know I'm going over it after, right? Okay, Garth buys snow tires from a dealer in Winnipeg. The tires cost $79 each. To make a profit, he must mark them up 40%. How much must the customer pay for 4 tires after tax? So first of all, we're going to figure out the markup in dollars. So you have your $79. You're going to mark them up by 40%, so that's 0.40. And that's $31.60 that you're increasing the value of the tires by. Okay. Retail would be 79 plus 31.60. That's 110.60 per tire. That's not what you're going to sell it for to make that profit. Okay. It's asking how much must the customer pay for 4 tires after tax. Okay. So total would be 4 tires multiplied by 110.60 per tire. That is 442.40 plus tax. So we're going to go 442.40. How do we add taxes again? We multiply something by 1.12. And that is 495.49. This is the answer to the question. Okay, so we found, what would 40% of $79 be? We found that. Then we found the retail price is just what the customer pays, right? The retail is what the customer pays, right? So 79 plus the markup, this is what the customer will see. Okay. Then we have to say, okay, 4 times that amount gives you this. You have to add taxes yet. So you go 442.40 multiplied by 1.12 to get that. Okay, so that's it for 47. Let's go to 48 and then we'll do discounts. Okay, because the cost of ingredients has gone up, Maurice has decided to increase. It's the same as markup, right? The cost of meals in a restaurant by 12%. Okay, how much will he charge for a grilled salmon fillet that used to cost this much before tax? Okay, so we're gonna find out the markup or increase. They are the same thing. You take, right, what it used to cost, We're going to find 12% of that, so that's 0.12. Right? And that gives us 215. $215 is the increase. New cost, we call that retail, right? In a store, this is a restaurant, so it's a little different. $17.95 plus $215, that would be $20.10. That answers the question. It says before tax, so we don't have to add any taxes here. That's it. We good? Okay, next question. The wholesale cost of t-shirts is $132 per dozen. To cover the cost and make a profit, right, you mark them up by 75%. What will the customer have to pay for one t-shirt, right? How much would you have to pay for one t-shirt after tax? Oops. So there's a couple ways you can do this. What I will do is I will take this and find what 75% would be and add it to it, okay? So I will essentially find the markup. Carter, I don't know if I marked you here earlier. Okay, so the markup would be 132 bucks times 0.75. Okay, you got to find what that is. And that's $99. So that's how much you're going to increase the price of this dozen shirts, right? So retail technically would be 132 plus 99. That gives you $231 per dozen. But obviously you're not going to sell a dozen shirts, right? So for one shirt, it would be 231 divided by 12, and that would be 19.25 plus tax. So total would be 19.25 times 1.12, and that would be 21.56. Lots of steps, right? Find the markup, retail, right? What you paid plus what you want to increase it by. And then I needed to find what it is for one shirt, and then I added taxes to it. There you go. Okay, next, the MP3 player. So there's one in Winnipeg and one in Alberta. I'm going to compare them side by side. The one in Winnipeg is $89.95. And in Alberta, you only pay 5% GST there in Alberta. Find the same MP3 player for a little more. Which one is the better buy and how much? So Winnipeg is 12%, right? We always pay 12% on electronics versus Alberta is only 5%. So we're going to figure that out here. So in Winnipeg, it's $89.95, and then we would add taxes to it, and you get $100.74. In Alberta, you only add 5% GST, so this gets you to 1.05, right? Because it's 105%, and that gives you $99.63. Obviously, by looking at the price, this is better. It says by how much. So which one is better, right? Which one is better? It's like part A, and this is part B, so to speak. By how much? We'll just go 174 minus 99.63. That is $1.11 difference. Not really worth it, is it? Yeah, Carter, I got you. I marked you down. Okay. So I invite you now to go to page 49 on sale. It says on sale there. So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of notes there. And I need you to make sure I'm going to give you two different ways of doing it. And you need to make sure you choose the one that you're more comfortable with. Okay. So go to 40. That's really what. So I'm going to actually